30 Boltwood and the Lord Jeffery Inn in Amherst mixes farm-fresh local ingredients and casual elegance. And today, Dino Giordano, he's the executive chef at 30 Boltwood. He's here to show us just one of the delicious dishes. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me again.
Happy New Year. It's good to see you again.
Same to you.
So, just because it's the winter time doesn't mean that you're not still farm fresh, doesn't mean that you're still not going to farmers markets all the time.
Exactly.
You're always there, and even these winter farmers markets, it just means you change your foods up a little bit. So there's sweet potatoes and all these different tastes of the winter.
Exactly. We're looking at roots and tubers like celery roots, and we're doing potatoes. Obviously, we have green beans, which is a little green on the plate. But basically, we're doing winter vegetables. It's winter. Everybody's body's craving stuff that grows in the winter. So that's what I want to eat. I think that's what everybody else wants to eat.
Because you're all about farm fresh local ingredients, and having local and farm fresh ingredients means it's all about being timely too. You can't have oranges in the middle of winter.
Yeah, it's mostly seasonal as much as possible. Obviously, some things aren't seasonal and aren't local, and we have to get them where we can. But for the most part, we try our best to get local and fresh.
Well, this looks great. What are we making today?
Today, this is a banquet dish that we are doing. So we're doing a roast Niman Ranch pork chop. We're going to pan sear that with a little bit of salt. We're serving it with a sweet potato puree.
Some greens,
and a little bit of pan roasted sweet potato as well. So let's get it started.
Yeah, let's go
talk about the puree a little bit. What we do with this is we take some sweet potatoes, we peel them, we cut them into cubes, and we basically cook those in salted water. And then we puree them with a little bit of cream, a little bit of curry powder, salt and pepper as well, and a tiny bit of cayenne. So there's a little spicy sweetness going on in there.
A little kick there. So
yeah.
What's the first step with the pork?
So let's
gotta get everything ready. And a lot of people think banquet food, they think it's gonna be all that junk that's served on the heated plates. But this is really individual pieces of food. It's like a meal, it's not a banquet really.
Yeah, we tried to prepare our banquet food exactly like we do at 30 Boltwood in the restaurant. So we try to do the same things within the framework of a banquet kitchen that we do at the restaurant.
So it's like a restaurant quality dinner, but it's at the banquet.
That's correct.
And that's coming up. It's We Are the Night.
Yes.
It's going to be a great bridal expo for everyone in the bridal party and family too. So we've salted this.
Yes. And we're going to get the pan nice and hot. So we're going to get a nice sear on either side, cook it a little bit. We're going to get it in the oven at 350 for about 4 or 5 minutes. We're going to pull it out and we're going to baste it with butter.
Sounds good.
Until it's done. And then while we're doing that, we'll get our vegetables nice and hot and ready to go. And then we'll plate up.
All right, so you want to start searing it?
Absolutely.
So don't go anywhere. We're going to be back right here with Dino from 30 Boltwood a little bit later on in the show. Welcome back to Mass Appeal. We are back in the Mass Appeal kitchen with the executive chef at 30 Boltwood, Dino Giordano. We are finishing up a delicious dish. Thanks for sticking around.
Thanks for having me.
So while we were gone, you had this piece of meat in the oven. Now you're taking it out. Let's start plating.
Exactly. So first we're going to plate our little sweet potato puree.
Now how'd you make that?
Like I said before, we took these sweet potatoes, we peeled them, we cut them into cubes, salted water, a little bit of cream, curry powder, and a tiny bit of cayenne pepper. We cook that until they're real soft. We drain the liquid, and then we puree it with some of that reserve liquid, and this is the finished product. I'm
always really impressed with the fancy restaurants like 30 Boltwood. They have the plates that look so stylish, and I just saw you do that. It's easier than meets the eye, I think, to be a little bit stylish. Now, what are you adding on here?
These are just some pan-roasted cubed sweet potatoes. So we have some of the sweet puree, and then for texture, we're just going to roast some nicely diced sweet potato for texture and a little bit of color as well.
Speaking of color, here we have some green beans.
So these green beans we just blanched in salted water.
With a touch of garlic too, right?
Yeah, so then I put them in the pan with some butter, a little bit of garlic, salt, ready to go.
Perfect. And now the piece de resistance, the meat on top.
Exactly. So here we have this beautiful Niman Ranch pork chop. We can
just toss it right on top. Yeah, I'd love to cut into it. So, you know, in the meantime, see, Dino, you and I, we know food, and we could talk about this all day long, but at 30 Boltwood, they do so much more than at the Lord Jeffery Inn. So let's invite Amanda Malone in. If you want to get married or have anything to do with a really terrific experience, Amanda can make it happen. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So tell us a little bit about We Own the Night.
Well, we are hosting a fabulous event coming up on the 18th. 70% of engagements occur between Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day.
I was gonna say mine did. Dino, did yours? Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day?
No.
Well, then you're in the minority. Good for
I
you.
am in the
Dare to be
minority.
different. I like that.
Well, we thought that January would be the perfect time to host a great event for all of those newly engaged brides-to-be. So we are in partnership with Danny Fide Photography and Epic Filmmakers. We're hosting this fabulous open house where we're going to have the ballroom filled with a handful of our favorite vendors that are going to be offering spa treatments, tips, tricks, bridal accessories for planning your wedding.
Pretty
you
much.
also have the opportunity to view the newly renovated ballroom and Lord Jeffery Inn to see if that's a match for your wedding as well.
And you can get a meal like this, which is far from a
Yeah.
banquet meal, I think. That's the thing. You think banquet meal, and you think like, you know, what, chicken parmesan,
Yeah.
something like that. This is an elegant meal at a banquet. Well,
Thanks.
Amanda, Dino, thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you here. We own the night. Looks great. This piece of pork looks great. I can't wait to dig into it.
Thanks,
it's a
Seth.
pleasure.
Thanks again.
And for more information, you can always visit them online, lordjeffreyinn.com.